So today we are in the Old Testament. So, surprise, surprise. Yeah. We are starting the book of Proverbs today, the third book of wisdom literature. Proverbs is 31 chapters. A lot of people like to read the book of Proverbs over the course of a month, a 31-day month. That way you're reading one chapter a day. We're doing it over the course of 2 weeks. So, you know, a little bit different, so that we can keep it going. So today we are surprisingly only looking at the prologue of the book of Proverbs, which I've titled The Father and Lady Wisdom, the two characters in this 9-chapter prologue. Alright? I would like a volunteer to open us in prayer. Shiloh, go ahead.
Dear Lord, thank you that we can all get here safely and none of us died, I don't think. I pray that the roads get a little bit safer and the weather warms up and that we all pay attention. And thank you, Lord, for all of these people. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. She got Amen.
All right, here is the layout for the next few weeks. So like I said, today we are in Proverbs 1 through 9, which is just the prologue, just the introduction to Proverbs. We don't actually get into any Proverbs until next week. Proverbs being defined as short sayings that are independent of each other, that are easy to memorize and share little nuggets of wisdom. There's several longer poems that aren't little nuggets of wisdom before we get to the hundreds of little nuggets. Okay? Next week, you will get to those little nuggets that, if you remember the video that we watched on Thursday, those little nuggets show the way things ought to be, not necessarily a guarantee of the way things will be, but the general probability of success or prosperity. Okay? Then, like I said, the following week will be Ecclesiastes, which is all about the meaning of life. It's a philosopher saying, what is even the point? Everything is like smoke, like vapor. You think it's there, you try and grab it, and it just goes away. What are we even doing? What's the point in living, in working, in having relationships, in doing anything? Why? It's a little depressing, but also it concludes with a why. Okay. You can probably guess what the why is, but I still want you to read it for yourself and find out what the why is, what the meaning of life is at the conclusion there. And then the following week, once I'm back, is Song of Songs, which is a powerful love story. Okay? Cool. Song of Songs was almost on Valentine's Day weekend. It was so sad.
It's already almost February, bro.
There was a point as I was making the teaching schedule, there was a point where Song of Songs was on Valentine's Day weekend, like the day after Valentine's Day. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about that.
I said no.
So did you give us extra homework or thin it out more?
We condensed.
Condensed. I think it was Job, maybe. I made it
Five.
Proverbs
6
8-31. That looks like it could have been 2 weeks.
I don't know. I did something and combined a couple
We
weeks.
got rid of a lot of breaks.
Oh my
So we're not taking time between books.
It also works because then we should be done with Old Testament by the time school starts, roughly. And that was my goal. So it worked out this way.
Oh, being high school.
All right.
That's gross.
Proverbs chapters 1 through 9. How did the reading go for everyone?
I'm ancient.
Thumbs up if you read anything from Proverbs 1 through 9. Thumbs sideways if you read anything from the Bible. Thumbs down if you basically didn't even touch your
Two
Bible.
thumbs if you read all of it?
2 thumbs up if you read half or more of Proverbs 1 through 9.
And then one thumb if you read the Bible, middle thumb
I just read
if you
Too many
glanced.
steps.
Too many steps. Okay.
I'm like, what?
Cool.
Raise all
I
10
like
of your toes.
I like seeing thumbs that are here and here and here. I love seeing thumbs that are here. That's so cool. Right? Cool. I like that. All right. Let's get into Proverbs 1 through 9. We should have Bibles and notebooks open. All right. Somebody tell me, what does Proverbs 2:6 say?
Oh,
Go ahead.
for the Lord gives wisdom from his mouth, come knowledge and understanding.
All right. What is wisdom? We've been in wisdom literature from Job through Song of Songs. So what is wisdom? MJ?
Wisdom is knowledge that helps you gain knowledge or understanding to help you with knowledge. Wait. I just repeated myself. Wait, so it's knowledge or like something that's gonna help you with science.
You're on the right track. I like that. Can someone else kind of take over? Shiloh?
No, I'm just.
Not you, I was kind of.
Go ahead, Shiloh.
Okay.
What is wisdom?
Wisdom? It's like applying the smart things you've learned in your life from like older people.
Yeah.
Like y'all. And it's, huh?
Will you keep?
Yeah, you're older than me, bro.
Sorry.
I like what you said there. It's applying the things that you know. So what's the difference between knowledge and wisdom? What is knowledge?
You know something.
Yeah, it's knowing something.
It's like ChatGPT has knowledge.
Okay, yeah, sure. I like to think of it as book smarts versus street smarts. Okay, book smarts, you know what the book says, whether it's the Bible, the textbook, whatever. You know the facts; they are inside your brain. You have read a book about how to swim. You know in your brain that it involves holding your breath. It involves moving your arms, moving your legs, right? In theory, you know how to swim. Wisdom is, if I put you in a swimming pool, are you going to die or are you going to propel yourself forward?
All that.
Wisdom is taking what you know, right, the thing that you have learned, and then applying that and doing it, right? Having the sense to do what you know how to do, okay? So that is book smarts versus street smarts, being able to do it when you're on the street, right? Out in the world,
Yeah.
being able to do the thing, okay? All right? So wisdom is applied knowledge, and like what Shiloh said, it's gaining that insight from other people who have lived through whatever, and they have gained knowledge and wisdom, and they pass that on to you, and they say, look, if you are in this situation, here's what you can do. I've lived through it, and this is what I learned from when I was thrown into the swimming pool. I now pass on this knowledge and how to apply it to you so that when you are thrown in a swimming pool, you can swim. Right?
Theoretically.
Theoretically. But then, yeah, you can. Yes?
Words.
Yeah.
It's applying what you know, and again, like Cyrus just pointed out, theoretically, if you know it and then apply it, you can do it. But what is often, like 99.9% of the time, especially as humans, what do we have to do to anything to be able to actually do it for sure.
Is
Do it.
Practice. So it's repetition. Wisdom comes with repetition as well. Because you can't just, I mean, we're humans, we can't just do anything instantly and know how to do it. And oh, now I have all this wisdom of how to ride a bike, how to swim, how to understand, Shakespeare, or how to, how to speak another language. You can't just know that instantly because theoretically you know, or you've studied, or you've read, but it comes back to studying and practicing. Repetition is going to be key.
very good.
All right. So, all that being said, now that we know what wisdom is, let's look at what the Bible says about wisdom. Okay. So let's look at the context and flow of chapters 1 through 9. So where are we in the book?
The beginning.
We're at the beginning. What did I call it earlier? What word did I use?
Proverbs.
A different P word. What?
Prologue.
Prologue. What is a prologue?
Like before the actual thing. Before the story.
Before the story?
Before it before the
The
story.
context.
Explanation, like the context.
Yeah, it sets up
Before the story.
it sets up the mood, or gives you the setting. Okay, raise your hand if you've ever seen Star Wars.
I just watched it yesterday.
Okay,
Like the
Okay.
100 times.
so you know when the movie starts, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and it has the words that scroll on the screen.
You don't even have those memorized? That's a joke.
Right? You know what I'm talking about, the title
Okay, you should do it for the
okay?
next slide.
I should, no. That is the prologue. That tells you the context, because if it just jumped right into, the spaceship flying down and then a big old battle, you're like, what's happening here? Right? But instead it says, alright, here's what's happening. There's been war for the last few years. Now the Chancellor's been abducted. Here's the good guys, here's the bad guys. Okay, now we're going. And we jump into the action. That's the prologue.
Always starts in space.
It always starts in space, it always zooms down. That tells you where we are, what's going on, so that when you get to the main action, or the beginning of the story, it doesn't confuse you. You know where we're at, okay? If you were to start reading Proverbs at chapter 10 and not go through 1 through 9, you would be kind of confused.
It's like starting at movie number 3 without the beginning bit.
No,
Exactly.
it's like starting it.
You would be a little confused. You'd be like, why am I reading this? What is this about? These are a bunch of little fortune cookie sayings. What am I supposed to do with this? Right? You would be confused. And so we have a prologue. We have several poems at the beginning to set up wisdom and its importance. Okay? So at the beginning, who is speaking? Yeah, it's not a trick question. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. Okay? So this is written.
How did I miss that?
This is written, as near as we can tell, by Solomon. Now there are some debates, and we'll talk about this again when we get to Song of Songs, which is also called the Song of Solomon. There's some debate in the wording when it says the Proverbs of Solomon, or the Song of Songs, which is of Solomon, whether or not it was Solomon who wrote it, or if it was in the style of Solomon's writing. Okay? In Proverbs, it's generally agreed that Solomon wrote these. Okay? Yeah, exactly. He was the king who asked God for wisdom rather than riches or anything else, and God granted him very great wisdom. And with that came how to negotiate trade and how to gain money and popularity and run his kingdom. And therefore, the riches and the fame came as a side effect of his wisdom. But especially in Song of Songs, that's where people kind of disagree that it's talking about Solomon and written by Solomon, but it's in that same school of thought. It's like someone that is wise like Solomon and writing in the style of Solomon is writing that. Here, safe to assume that it is, in fact, Solomon. Okay? What are some thoughts and themes that you have come across in these first 9 chapters?
It's like talking about like what temptations you're gonna face and like what you shouldn't do and like what it's gonna do, how bad it is, and like it's gonna have like a really bad effect. Like,
Yeah.
And like wisdom and all that good stuff. There's a
Yeah.
lot of talking about what that is.
There are several warnings, right? Of like, if you go down this path, this is what it leads to, right? Versus if you go down this path, it leads to life and good things, right? There's that contrast.
Talks about the value of wisdom.
The value of wisdom.
How useful it is
Yeah.
to prosper.
That's kind of like the big theme of this prologue is why you should have wisdom, why you should seek wisdom. Yeah, absolutely.
Talks quite a bit about adultery.
Yeah, adultery is one of the big focuses, one of those big warnings. It keeps coming back to how you respect yourself and other people through your body. You know.
I don't know if it really was, but it kind of seemed like it was in kind of comparing the like adultery lady and Lady Wisdom, like
Yeah.
kind of compare and contrast, like is the really bad one and the really good one.
Yeah.
Like,
So we have a couple of characters.
kind of talk about it back and forth.
Yeah, we have a few different characters. The big two are the title of today's lesson. Do you remember those two?
The father and Lady Wisdom.
The Father and Lady Wisdom. Who is the Father in this writing? Solomon, the one who is passing on wisdom. Right? The Father in this case does not refer to God the Father. This is, maybe I should have said, a father and Lady Wisdom. Right? This is a father passing on with wise words to his son, or sons. I think there's a couple times where it says my sons, plural. Right? So this is a father passing on wise words. So like Shiloh said, someone older, more experienced, passing on wisdom to someone younger. And then who's the other character? Lady Wisdom. She's never actually called Lady Wisdom. That's kind of just a title, a name that I gave her. It is the personification. Remember personification? When you take a non-person thing, or in this case concept of wisdom, and give that people attributes, right? In this case, wisdom, this concept of having knowledge that was gained through experience, is turned into a woman, right? Hypothetically or non-literally depicted as a woman, okay? And so she is seen as like the embodiment of wisdom, okay? So those are the two characters, the father who's passing on wisdom and wisdom herself, okay? And we go back and forth between some speeches that the father gives to his sons, and then kind of poems from or about this embodiment of wisdom herself, okay? So what do we see in just chapter 1 by itself? The beginning of this book. What do we see here? What?
He was just
saying a song. Okay. What do we see in chapter 1 regarding these two characters?
The father is encouraging his son to have wisdom and to stay away from the way of sinners,
Yeah.
unrighteousness.
So first we have kind of a prologue to the prologue in verses 1 through 7 that gives an introduction to wisdom and says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, and fools despise wisdom and instruction. So it kind of echoes what we heard in Job. I don't remember what chapter. 28. That fearing the Lord, or being a worshiper and studier of God, is where knowledge and wisdom comes from, right? Because God is the source of wisdom. And to fear Him, to respect Him, to worship Him, to study about God is where we get true wisdom. Can we have wisdom from other sources? Yes. Is it pure wisdom? No. Just like other people who don't believe in God can do good things, but are they doing true good? No, they're doing good things. We as humans are a reflection of God, so we share some of His attributes, even if we don't recognize God. Right? That's how we were created, in the image of God, whether or not we have accepted and recognized that that's where we come from. Okay? There can be good in the world that is not recognized as coming from God. Even if it does, we don't recognize it. Okay? Then in 8 through 19, we have what Lucy said, where the father gives the first speech to the son, and I noted that it is very similar to how the book of Psalms starts. How does the book of Psalms start? What is chapter 1 there?
Just as the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord.
So what is that talking about?
Where the righteous is better.
Yeah. It's talking about peer pressure. Right? Don't follow wicked people. Right?
And most of people are wicked.
Yeah. Don't follow in the way of the ungodly. And here, it's saying, don't follow in the way of the ungodly. And in this case, they're not so much called wicked, they are called foolish, stupid, idiots. Right? It was someone can check this. There is a psalm that says, the fool is the fool who says in his heart there is no God. Right? I want to say it's like 91 or something. I don't know. Anyway, someone who rejects God is foolish and wicked. Okay, those are a couple common words in Psalms and Proverbs to talk about someone who rejects God, who does not follow in the way of God. And here it's saying, don't follow those people. Don't follow the people who don't follow God. Okay? Don't give in to peer pressure of these idiots who reject God and do their own thing. Okay? I thought that was really cool. That's how Psalms and Proverbs starts. All right? And then the rest of chapter 1, we're introduced to this personification of wisdom. Wisdom cries aloud in the street, in the markets she raises her voice. Okay, so in public, this Lady Wisdom says, "Come here, you idiots. Come and learn. Become not idiots." Right? And that's a common theme that Lady Wisdom invites people to her to gain knowledge and understanding from God.
Psalm 14:1. The fool says in his heart there is no God.
14.
They are corrupt, they do abominable deeds, there is none who does good.
Very good. Alright. So Lady Wisdom is public. She's not hiding herself away. She is inviting other people to come and receive life. Right?
That sounds familiar.
Alright. Then chapters 2 and 3, we have a couple of these speeches from the Father. What's something that we notice in those couple of chapters?
They're vigorous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a,
We're told that the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Right? Very much echoing what we were told in chapter 1 at the beginning, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But here we're told that the Lord gives wisdom. Okay?
I summarized most of those chapters as it says, don't forget, trust, fear, and honor the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you will have obtained the wisdom and therefore be blessed.
Chapter 3, verses 5 and 6 is where we get, one of the most popular verses from Proverbs. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Right? So what does that mean to trust in the Lord with all your heart and not lean on your own understanding? What does it mean to lean on your own understanding?
Not following this and thinking that your way's better.
Yeah. Think, oh, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I got this. Right? Do you got this?
Nope.
Generally speaking, no. No, you do not. As results of sin and imperfection in the world, generally speaking, we do not got this. Right? But if we trust in God, do God got this? God do got this. Alright? And then we have another poem from Lady Wisdom. And we are told that she is more precious than jewels and gold and treasures. Having wisdom from God, knowing what to do and doing it, is better than having all the money in the world. You can be infinitely rich and still not know what to do or do the wrong thing, and that makes you an idiot. Right? Yeah. I think it's very ironic, the end of Solomon's story.
How he dies.
I mean, before then.
Oh.
Right? He is so wise. He is saying, trust in God alone. Receive your wisdom from God. He even says, don't follow the adulterous woman. Seek Lady Wisdom instead. And then what happens to him?
He seeks the 700 ladies.
It's 1,000 of them. All right.
Oh yeah,
There's 300
700 wives in the country.
Yeah. He follows not just one adulteress, but 1,000 of them. Instead of Lady Wisdom. And he has all the riches in the world, and yet ends up not seeking God. And that's what caused the downfall of his successful and prosperous nation. He didn't follow his own wisdom that he has written down. Whoa.
That comes back to the probability, not a promise.
Yeah. All right. And then I think Benjamin pointed out that a good chunk of this, like most of chapter 5, half of 6, pretty much all of 7, is talking about adultery. Like that's the one thing that the Father focuses on, is honoring God, honoring yourself, honoring others with your body. Okay? Do we all know what adultery is?
Yes.
It's being unfaithful to your spouse. Whether you have a spouse or not, you can still be unfaithful to your spouse. Right? At your age, you don't have a spouse.
In other countries.
But you can still honor your future spouse by honoring God with your body. Okay?
And that
Does that make sense?
includes taking care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Not just keeping yourself away from certain things, but actually sleeping properly, eating properly, drinking, doing basic human necessities, but doing them well, because then that sets up your physical body and your mental body to serve the Lord with everything that you are, and doing it with excellence, which He does calls us to do.
All right. A lot of times in this poetic language, these concepts are personified. We understand how that works, right? So, a few different times when the Father is talking about adultery, he kind of tells this story, like, I knew a young man once who, saw this woman and she invited him in. Okay, that's a story that didn't necessarily really happen. It's a personification of, youth and wandering eyes and the act, whether physical or mental, of lust and adultery is personified in this story. I want to say that was chapter 7 that had that, where the Father personifies these two characters. And I think it would be safe to put yourself in that and be like, okay, I am represented by this young man who is invited by a temptress, and I need to not end up like that young man, right? That is the whole point of telling these stories and passing on this wisdom, is put yourself in this and say, if I follow this path, this is how I might end up. Versus if I follow this path, this is how I might end up. Okay? And then in chapter 9, we're kind of given the summary of these two paths. We are shown Lady Wisdom once again as a host who is inviting people over to a feast. She has prepared her house, she has prepared food and drink, and she goes out and says, I want to quote her, "Whoever is simple, let him turn in here." That's chapter 9, verse 4. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. In other words, hey, you idiots, come on in. Right? She says it a little bit nicer, but all these simple people, she's putting out an open invitation to come in and enjoy some food, some drink, some company, and to leave your simple ways and live and walk in the way of insight. And in the next section, starting in verse 13, that very scenario of Lady Wisdom, the host, inviting simple people in to give life, is contrasted by this newly named character who has kind of been there in the background this whole time. The woman Folly. What is folly?
Folly.
Stupidity. I mean, that's a pretty good way of summarizing it. Alright, so the opposite of Lady Wisdom, her like antithesis is a big word. It just means everything that she is, it's the opposite. Go ahead.
Except like the writing in and stuff.
No.
How many of you have either seen the Muppet movie or at least know the meme with the like hooded Kermit the Frog? Right? Like it's the same puppet, but it's got a hood and the darkness.
Is that Constantine?
I think so. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
I just know the meme.
I'm
And it's shown you have Kermit the Frog that says like the good thing, and then it's like the dark version of Kermit the Frog that says the opposite. Like, ooh, what if we didn't? Right? It's that concept. You have Lady Wisdom, the one who's like, yeah,
Like the angel and the devil on your shoulder.
kind of. And then you have Lady Stupidity, who's like, eh, what if you weren't smart? What if you didn't follow God? So we have these two, they're saying the same thing. Lady Stupidity is seductive. She sits at the door of her house, and she also says, whoever is simple, let him turn in here. The same thing that Lady Wisdom said, open invitation. And then it says, instead of, getting to eat this bread and getting to enjoy drink and have life and abundance in her house, it says that the drink that she serves is stolen water. The food that she serves,
It's rotten.
the bread that she serves has to be eaten in secret. Why would you enjoy something in secret?
Because it's not good.
Because it's not yours, because it's stolen, because you shouldn't,
illegal.
it's illegal, you shouldn't be eating it,
This bread's illegal.
right? It kind of plays right back into adultery. Generally speaking, people don't commit adultery in broad daylight where everybody can see. Generally speaking, it's done in secret because it's not supposed to happen.
And
Okay.
you know it.
And that can be applied to any wrongdoing. Again, generally speaking, if you know better, you're not going to go out and do it in front of everybody. You're not going to steal in front of everybody. You're not going to lie in front of everybody when you know that that's wrong and everybody else knows that it's wrong. You do it in secret,
I
right?
feel like people nowadays be doing that, like in front of everyone else, like, oh, but it's my right. You do the First and Seventh Amendment. Like it's freedom of speech, guys.
They do be doing
Is that really?
stupid things.
I thought this was.
I don't know which amendment it is.
I think it's the first one.
I thought
Alright. So, Lady Stupidity feeds them, gives them stolen water, gives them bread that they have to eat in secret so that nobody knows that you're eating it. And it says that her guests don't even realize that her house is full of dead people. Chapter 9, verse 18. He, the guest that comes into her house, does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. The grave. Her house is full of death. In direct contrast to Lady Wisdom, who says, leave your simple ways and live and walk in the way of insight. Right? So these two characters are directly opposed. One gives good food and drink and life. One gives stolen drink, food you have to eat in secret because you're not supposed to, and her house is full of dead people. Which party would you rather go to?
Party.
I don't.
Right.
I don't want it enough to be.
Lady Smarts.
And that yeah, Lady Smarts. And that is how that prologue ends, by inviting you to these two different parties and saying, which house do you want to go to? Do you want to go to the life house or the death house? It's a no-brainer.
It's like a bounce house or a rock house.
Sure. We should look at this and be like, it's so obvious. Everybody should want to go to the life party. What? It's a rhetorical question. It's not actually phrased that way, but you can see you have two parties. Obviously, one's better and one is very much obviously worse.
You can call one
Parties.
And that leads you straight into these proverbs, these short sayings that if you are in the good house, the house of Lady Wisdom, these short sayings make sense. If you are at the stupid party with Lady Stupid and the stupid dead people, the rest of Proverbs will not make sense to you. The rest of Proverbs will be useless to you. Alright? And I've kind of answered that first discussion question, which is why we have two of them. This prologue is so long because you need to understand Lady Wisdom is the right choice.
Not Lady Stupid.
Not Lady Stupid. And where does Lady Wisdom come from? Lady Wisdom is a gift from God.
It says somewhere he's like created before he started creating.
It does say that Lady Wisdom,
It's like
again,
she's
not an
obviously
actual being.
created by God.
Lady Wisdom, who is not an actual being, is a concept, was with God in the beginning before creation. And that he used Lady Wisdom to create. Okay? Again, Lady Wisdom is not a being like God is. I'm not saying there's a God and goddess. There is a God, singular, in 3 persons, who possessed wisdom. That is part of God's being. Alright? God did not create wisdom, did not create love, did not create goodness. God is wisdom. God is love. God is goodness. Those positive attributes have always existed because God has always existed. Lady Wisdom was with God in the beginning, and God used his wisdom to create everything. Okay? Again, Lady Wisdom, concept, God being. Capiche? That could be confused as God and goddess. That is not it. Okay? Yes. God and concept that God has in the beginning. Okay? Jesus being with God in the beginning. Jesus being was the avenue of creation. Okay? Jesus was with God in the beginning. That's John chapter 1. Says that in the beginning was the Word, and we know that the Word, as we read that chapter, is Jesus. And he was with God in the beginning, and through the Word, God created everything. Okay. You can definitely draw parallels between this concept, Lady Wisdom, and Jesus. Okay? They are both the personification of wisdom and perfection. Okay? Okay, so the second discussion question, why is ignoring wisdom portrayed as dangerous and not just neutral?
Because I'm forming it in my head so I can say it. Wisdom leads. I'm the one looking at something else. Wisdom leads to good life, and dumminess leads to destruction. So like, because I feel like when you go like not into wisdomness, I said that really wrong. It's really hard to like redeem yourself and get better after you stray away from it and like don't go into wisdom, because wisdom can like be hard to follow sometimes, like applying to yourself, but it's worth it. But if you like go astray and you don't follow it, it's gonna be a lot harder to like undo the things that you did.
Nice. I like that. Let's look more at the ignoring part of the question. Okay? Shannon, yes. Why is ignoring wisdom dangerous and not neutral?
Well, like if you have like two options, right? It's like, oh, either I go to this party and do a bunch of drugs, or I go home and just stay and watch a movie. Like, and somebody tells you you should probably go home instead of going to a party and doing drugs because it's gonna mess you up and everything. And you're like, that was really wise of them and it's probably good for me, but I'm actually gonna ignore what they said and I'm gonna go do drugs. And then that leads into a bunch of other bad things that's bad for you and hurts you versus going home and going and watching a movie.
So let me ask you this. So
Yeah.
ignoring is a verb, right? To ignore means to like not heed a warning, right? Is that an active verb or a passive verb?
I have no idea.
Do you know what that means?
Say it again.
Okay.
Ignoring?
So
It's if
if I were to stand up, did I do something or was I already doing something?
You did something.
You were sitting.
I did something to stand. Okay? I was sitting, now I am standing. I had to do something. That was an active verb. Now, if the verb is to live, am I actively to live or am I passively to live?
passively.
Am I doing something right now on purpose to live?
You're breathing.
Breathing.
Yes.
Oh no, that's
But that's not.
that's yeah.
Your
But
body's already
that's
doing it.
passive, you're already doing it. Okay, Katie, I would like you to stand up.
He's picking
I would like you to take a step towards the middle. There you go. I'd like you to close your eyes. Now, slowly, I would like you to walk forward. One step at a time. Okay. Now,
Jeez, put your leg in.
if I were to say, Katie, you're about to walk off a cliff, you need to stop. Now, Katie, if you ignore me, what would you do?
Walk off of the bed.
Yeah. But you were already walking, so you would continue walking, right? She would continue taking one step at a time. No. I want you to go back, and I want you to step forward towards this cliff, and I want you to ignore me.
Katie, can I push you?
Katie, you need to stop. You're about to walk off a cliff. Okay.
Oh
She falls off the cliff. Splat.
Bye, Katie.
Now, her ignoring me, was that active or passive? It was passive. It did not require any change on her part. Now go back, let's do it again. This time, Katie, you are going to listen to me. And you are going to heed my instruction. You are not going to ignore. Okay?
You're not going to listen to you, bro.
You need to stop. You're about to walk off the cliff. Active or passive?
Passive.
It needed an action. In that case, her action was to stop actioning. It required a change, right? Her action was stepping forward. It required a change of stopping. Okay? So, ignoring wisdom is portrayed as dangerous, even though it is passive. Whereas listening to wisdom is portrayed as beneficial and active. Yes, Miss Mary, what you got?
How does Pastor Grady describe salvation?
You're walking one way and then you turn around and walk the other way.
Oh, yes.
It's an active choice. And the initial point of salvation is that active 180. But once you become a believer, you need to gain wisdom and actively choose every moment of every day. Because there's things that are going to pull you away from Him every day, every second of every day. And the only way to continue walking in that way is to turn, to listen. And how are you going to know when it's time to turn? Yeah, how are you either gonna do it and die?
Katie didn't know that she was about to figuratively walk off the cliff. How did she know? She heard
Wisdom.
from someone who knew better, and then she listened.
doesn't know any better, she just.
So I think that's what Miss Ann is getting at, is we need to listen to someone who knows better. Who knows better?
Jesus.
Jesus. How do we listen to God?
The Bible.
What?
The Bible.
The Word of God. Right? That's how we know right and wrong, is because He has told us there's a cliff you're about to walk off. You need to stop. You need to make sure to not walk off that cliff. Right? He has already told us where the cliff is. He has already told us the right path. And we need to listen to Him. Dear Lord, speak to us. Let us listen to You. I pray that you would convict our hearts to be constantly listening to You, to be constantly in Your Word, so that we can hear when You are giving us warnings, so that we can know in our heart what is right and wrong, so that Your Word can be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path. Because if we are walking in darkness towards a cliff, we won't know where it is until we already fall off. But if we are walking with a light in front of our feet, we will be able to see when the path stops and when we need to change the way that we walk. Thank You for giving us that light and that lamp in Your Word. I pray that we would use it wisely and that we would listen to You. It's in Jesus' name that I pray this. Amen.
Amen.